Hi kids! As you can see, I'm sitting outside on this beautiful December day, and I'm going to read you a story called Peter and the Wolf. Now, if our sweet Jackie, Miss Jackie, were here, she would be able to tell you more about this. But this is a book, it's a Russian story, and it's been set to music, and each character has their own instrument. So there's someone that's a tuba, and someone that's an oboe, someone that's a flute. And so we'll have to ask our sweet Miss Jackie to tell us some more information about it. But I'm going to read you this Russian story called Peter, or if we were in Russia, his name would be Pyotr and the Wolf. And here's a picture of Pyotr and the wolf. I don't think he really rode on the wolf's back. You know, we're getting ready to go into a brand new year, the year 2021. So this is how we're starting off the new year. Early one morning, Pyotr opened the gate and went out into the big green meadow. On the branch of a birch tree sat, and what do you think would sit on a birch tree limb? A little bird. It was Pyotr's friend. When he saw Peter, I'll go back to the American name, he chirped at him gaily and said, "All's quiet here." Soon a duck came waddling around. She was very happy to see that Peter had not closed the gate. And so she decided to have a nice swim in the deep pond in the meadow. As soon as the little bird saw the duck, he flew down and settled himself in the grass beside her. Shrugging his shoulders, he said, "What kind of duck are you? What kind of bird are you if you can't fly?" To which the duck replied, "What kind of bird are you if you can't swim?" And she dove into the pond. Look at her. She's kind of got her nose stuck up in the air. There's a picture of the bird on the branch and the duck getting ready to dive into the pond as she came waddling out. As you can see, my book is falling apart. So the duck and the bird argued and argued. The duck was swimming in the pond. The little bird was hopping back and forth on the bank, arguing with each other. Suddenly, something caught Peter's eye. You can see he's standing over here ignoring them. It was a cat crawling through the grass. The cat said to herself, "The bird is very busy arguing. If I could only have him for my dinner." Stealthily, that means very sneakily, she crept toward him on her velvet paws. "Oh, look out!" cried Peter. Look at that cat. He's sneaking up there. He's kind of prowling like a lion would. Quickly, the bird flew up into the tree while the duck quacked angrily in the pond. And she also was quacking at that cat who scared away the bird. The cat crawled around and around the tree, looking up, and thought, "Is it worth climbing up so high? By the time I get there, the bird will have flown away." All at once, grandfather, ooh, look at that grandfather. That's a real Russian grandfather. He came out. He was angry because Peter had gone to the meadow. "The meadow is a dangerous place," he cried. What if a wolf should come out of the forest? What would you do then? Peter paid no attention to his grandfather's words. That's not very nice of Peter. Boys like Peter are not afraid of wolves. Grandfather took Peter by the hand. Look at how he took him by the hand. And led him home and locked the gate. No sooner had Peter gone than a big gray wolf did come out of the forest. In a twinkling, the cat sprang up into the tree. The duck was quacking, and in her great excitement, jumped out of the pond. Now, isn't that weird that she would jump out of the pond right where the wolf was? And no matter how hard the duck tried to run, she could not escape the wolf. He was getting nearer and nearer, and he was catching up with her. There! He caught her, and he swallowed her with one single gulp. Look at that wolf. Very scary. And now, where is the duck? In the wolf's belly. Now, this is how things stood. The cat was sitting on one branch of the tree. The bird was sitting on the other branch of the tree, not too close to the cat, I'll tell you, while the wolf walked around and around the tree, looking at them both with greedy eyes. In the meantime, Peter, without the slightest fear, stood behind the closed gate watching all that was going on. Presently, he ran into the house, found a strong rope, and hurried back. He climbed up on the high stone wall and over into the tree. He said to the bird, "Fly down and circle around the wolf's head, but take care that he doesn't catch you." The bird almost touched the wolf's head with his wings, while the wolf was snapping furiously at him from this side and that. How that bird did worry the wolf. And oh, how the wolf tried to catch him. But the bird was far too clever for him. See, look at all that's going on. There's Peter. There's the cat. There's the bird worrying. And what I mean by worrying, it was bothering the wolf. That's kind of an old-fashioned word. Meanwhile, Peter made a lasso, and letting it down very carefully, he caught the wolf by the tail and pulled with all his might. Feeling himself caught, the wolf began to jump wildly, trying to get loose. Look at that. But Peter had tied the other end of the rope to the tree, and the wolf's jumping only made the rope tighter around his tail. Just then, who should come out of the woods but the hunters, who were following the wolf's trail and shooting as they came. Wait till you see these hunters. Look at those men. From his perch in the tree, Peter cried out to them, "You don't need to shoot. The bird and I have already caught him. Please help us take him to the zoo." The hunters were only too willing, and now you can just imagine the triumphant procession. Peter at the head, after him the hunters leading the wolf, and winding up the procession, grandfather and the cat. So there are the men shooting they just come out shooting in the air. What's wrong with that picture? Here's the procession. Peter, the hunters, with the wolf tied up, grandfather, townspeople, the cat, and there's the bird. Where's the duck? Let's see. Grandfather just shook his head and he used the word reprovingly. It means he was still not happy with his grandson. This is all very well, but what if Peter had not caught the wolf? What then? Said Grandfather. Above them flew the little bird, merrily chirping. Aren't we smart, Peter and I? See what we have caught. And if you had listened very, very carefully, you could have heard the duck quacking inside the wolf's belly, because in his haste the wolf had swallowed the duck whole and chopped her up, and the duck was still alive. Now, as you think about this story, think how everyone helped each other, and they didn't hurt the wolf. They were taking him to the zoo. But I worry about that duck. Will the duck get out? We don't know. So when you see Miss Jackie on Christmas Eve or the next Sunday, that time you see her, ask her about the music from this story, Peter and the Wolf. It's an old, old Russian story. I'm sure she'll tell you some more about it. Have a happy new year with you and your family, each one of you, and I look forward to seeing you in church in the coming year. Bye.